1942 True Vine Baptist Church. It seemed like the hottest day ever in Navasota, Texas, the small, dusty town where Alvin Ailey and his mother, Lula, lived. Blue-black flies buzzed their songs while the church bell rang. Alvin and Lula worship at True Vine Baptist Church every Sunday. When they arrived for services, Alvin slid into his usual seat in the first row pew. There he could watch his mother sing in the gospel choir, and Lula sure could sing. Her voice rose clear and strong as she sang the morning hymn. The men at the True Vine dressed in dignified suits. The women showed off wide-brimmed hats and fanned away the Texas heat. Some cuddled powdered babies, others hugged their Bibles. True Vine Reverend Lewis delivered a thundering sermon. The organ rang out, followed by a fellow tenor singing, "Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham, rock my soul in the tambourines, join me as your name. Rock my soul in the joyful noise, they have praise, and raise their song of revelation. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham, rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham, rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock my soul." He sang along. Alvin was going to miss the music and rejoicing at True Vine Baptist Church. Days later, Alvin rode a creaky locomotive headed west. He and Lula were going to try life in Los Angeles, California. Alvin stared out his window while the train rocked and lurched its way through the dry Texas land. Life in the city would be so different. Los Angeles was a flashy town. Lula found plenty of work. Most mornings she left their apartment on East 43rd Place before sunrise, and she didn't return home until the sun was long past setting. Alvin didn't mind, though. On Saturdays and after school, he liked spending time alone exploring the city streets. He strolled Central Avenue where nightclubs such as the Club Alabama boomed with the sounds of big band jazz, swinging music that spilled out onto the street while the musicians inside rehearsed for the evening show. Alvin especially liked downtown Los Angeles where the lights on the theater houses reflected off the pavement. Outside each theater, a blinking marquee announced the latest show. Propel performing live, Billie Holiday, The Night of Blues, Duke Ellington, and his band. The men who owned the theater stacked handbills on their stoops. Each handbill announced coming attractions. Alvin found one. Alvin had never seen before. The paper said, "Coming soon to the Biltmore Theater, Katherine Dunham and her dancers." Alvin looked carefully at the picture of Katherine Dunham, a beautiful black dancer fluttering exotic ruffles. Katherine Dunham and her dance troupe were one of the few traveling shows in the world with black dancers performing dances from Africa, Haiti, and Latin America. Alvin was curious. He noticed a friend hanging out at a stage door nearby. His friend Ted knew all kinds of things about dance. He hoped to dance on stage one day. Alvin and Ted crept down the alley that led to the Biltmore stage entrance. They were about to see dancing like they had never seen before. Katherine Dunham and her dancers swirled and lunged to the rhythms of West Indian drums. Alvin nudged Ted. "What is that they're doing? What is that?" he asked. "That's modern dancing," Ted said. "Watch this." Ted tried Katherine Dunham's moves. Alvin slapped out a beat on his music and followed Ted's lead. Slowly, Alvin began to move. He curled his shoulders from back to front and rippled his hands like an ocean wave. He rolled his hips in an easy, steady swivel, dancing with an expression on his own. Alvin moved like a cat, smooth like quicksilver. When he danced, happiness glowed warm inside him. That night, Alvin told his mother he'd seen black people performing their own special dances. It was a show Alvin would never forget. And school. More than anything, Alvin wanted to study dance. But when Alvin arrived in Los Angeles, not everyone could take dance lessons. In 1949, not many dance schools accepted black students, and almost none taught the fluid moves that Alvin liked so much. Almost none but the Lester Horton Dance Theater School, a modern dance school that welcomes students of all races. Lester's door was open to anyone serious about learning to dance. And at age 18, Alvin was serious, especially when he saw how Lester's dancers moved. One student danced with a butterfly's grace. Another made modern dance look easy. But Lester worked his students hard. Sometimes they danced all day. After hours in the studio, droplets of sweat dotted Alvin's forehead. He tingled inside, ready to try Lester's steps once more. At first, Alvin kept time to Lester's beat and followed Lester's moves. Then Alvin's rhythm took over, and he started creating his own steps. Alvin's tempo worked from his belly to his elbows, then oozed through his thighs and feet. What is Alvin doing? One student asked. Whatever he's doing, he's sure doing a fine, two dancers agreed. Some tried to follow Alvin's moves, but even Alvin didn't know which way his body would move next. His loops and spins just came to him the way daydreams do. Alvin danced at Lester Horton's school almost every day. He taught the other students his special moves. In 1950, Alvin joined Lester Horton's dance company. Soon Alvin performed his own choreography for small audiences who gathered at Lester's studio. His dances told stories. He flung his arms and shim-shammed his middle to express jubilation. His dips and slides could even show anger and pain. Modern dance let Alvin's imagination whirl. All the while, Lester watched Alvin grow into a strong dancer. Lester told Alvin to study and learn as much as he could. He encouraged Alvin to use his memories and his African-American heritage to make dances that were unforgettable. Moving on to 1958, 1960, Alvin's satchel hung heavy on his shoulder. He was now in New York City, where he came to learn ballet and modern techniques from two of the best teachers in the world. Alvin took class all over town and met dancers who showed him moves he'd never seen before. Alvin gathered some of the dancers he'd seen in class around the city. He chose men and women who had just the right moves to dance choreography. Alvin told them he wanted to start a modern dance company that would dance to blues and gospel music, the heritage of African American people. 9 dancers believed in Alvin's idea. This was the beginning of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. March 30th, 1958, Alvin and his friends premiered Blues Suite, dances set in a honky-tonk dance hall. The women flaunted hot red dresses with shoes and stockings to match. They danced to the swanky swank of a jazz rhapsody. Alvin's choreography depicted the blues, that weedy sadness all folks feel now and then. Blues Suite stirred the soul of every person in the room. He was on his way to making it big. Alvin was eager to show off his next work. January 31st, 1960, gospel harmonies filled the concert halls at the 92nd Street Live. Rock my soul in the rhythm of Alvin thought to be time to music the same way he did when he was a small boy. But now Alvin rejoiced on stage in Revelation. A student anticipated to celebrate his citizens with True My Baptist Church in Navajo, Texas. The audience stayed in their seats as Alvin and his company joined in their dance. They danced with great and hearty attitudes. Alvin and the band danced to Revelation people while showing that hope and joy are for everyone. With his sleek moves, Alvin shared his experiences and his dreams in a way no other dancer had ever done. When Revolution ended, the audience went wild with applause. They stomped and shouted. More, they yelled, more. Taking a bow, Alvin let out a breath. He raised his eyes towards heaven, satisfied and proud.
That me on Frisco,